Okay, so let's discuss from the question number 57. Say participants complaints about the pain in the mammary glands. Palpations revealed a 3 into 4 centimeter large infiltration, soft in the center. Body temperatures is 38.5 degree Celsius. What is the most probable diagnosis? So see, in case of the breast, firstly what we should know what is the breast. Breast is the modified sweat glands. Breast is the modified sweat glands. Breast is the modified sweat glands. It is the modified sweat glands. The breast will be that is the modified sweat gland. Okay, so the breast is the modified sweat glands. So in case of the breast, we are studying about the mastitis today. So remember that if we talk about the mastitis means mast means that is the breast, and if there is inflammation, itis means inflammation. So this is what the inflammation of the breast. What we see, the inflammation of breast. The inflammation of breast will be there. So what, remember that if we talk about the inflammation of the breast, this mastitis type of the condition is seen in case of the pregnancy or in case of the lactations, when the fetus is on lactation period. So at that times the mother can having the mastitis conditions. So what will be the most common cause for this condition? The most common cause for this condition, remember, that will be the Staph aureus. That will be the Staph aureus. From where this Staph aureus will come? The Staph aureus will come from the baby's mouth. The Staph aureus will come from the baby's mouth. It will enter the breast if any, like if mother is the baby is sucking the milk. Baby is sucking the milk. So during when he is sucking the milk, so there can be the crackling or the dimpling can be there. So it enter the breast through crackling, or the some cracks in the nipple area, or maybe there is a dimpling in the nipple area. Through that regions this Staph aureus will go inside. Through this region the Staph aureus will go inside into the breast, and they will cause the inflammations. What they will cause? They will cause the inflammations. What are the inflammation signs? What, tell me, what are the inflammation signs? Rubor, tuber, calor, dolor. Speak with me. Rubor, tuber, calor, dolor. Rubor, tuber, calor, dolor. What is the rubor? Rubor means redness. So there will be the redness will be there. The breast will be in the reddish color, the गुस्से वाली breast. ठीक है? There will be the swelling. There will be the swelling. What we call the swelling? The swelling we call the tumor. So these are the inflammatory signs. Then after the swellings, we will be having the increase in what? Temperature. There will be increase in the temperatures, and increase in the temperature, what we see? The calor. What we see? The calor, and there will be the pain. So pain, what we call? Pain means dalor. The pain means dalor. So rubor, tuber, calor or dalor. So these are the inflammatory signs that we will see in this condition. How you will treat this condition? How you will treat the mastitis? See, the mastitis, for the treatment of the mastitis, it is caused by the bacteria. It is caused by the bacteria. Hence, how we will treat these conditions? We will treat with the help of antibiotics. We will treat with the help of antibiotics, and we will provide the breast support. If the breast are the loose, so they will put the more pressure, and due to which breast the congestions will be there. Due to which congestion will be there, and that's why we need to provide the support. So that is the breast support will be provided to the females who having like the loose breast. So if the loose breast means they are losing, so we need to provide the support to prevent the any congestions in these females. So that's why we need to prevent the antibiotics and the breast support. If mastitis, I think I should not write it here. Okay, can I continue here? Okay, just a second. I think okay. Okay, let's continue. See what you are telling, the treatment. The treatment, what was the treatment for this condition? The antibiotics, and we will be having what are the other things we can do? The breast support. We need to provide the breast support to prevent the congestions. After that, if this will fail or if they will not response, if this fail or no response, so it can lead to which condition? The brain abscess. It can lead to brain abscess. It can lead to the brain abscess. Not sorry, the breast abscess. It can lead to the breast abscess. If we see there is a early stages, on the early stages what we will see in on early stages we see there is a small pus pocket. Abscess means formation of the pus. So what we will see, there is a small pus pocket will be seen. Small pus pockets inside the breast. The small pus pocket inside the breast we will see in the early stages. There we will study. So what we will see, the fluctuations. We studied about what the fluctuation. Fluctuation, remember, this is the sign of abscess. This is the sign of abscess, but this is absent in the early stages. We don't see the fluctuation. But when we talk about the later stages, so in case of the later stage, what we will see, in case of the later stage, we see there is a liquid, good amount of the liquid will be see, the good amount of the liquid will be see, and this will pus will be collected. And in this condition we see the fluctuations will be present. Okay, the fluctuation because of the liquid. So because of liquid, what we see, the liquid is fluctuating. So the liquid is fluctuating means fluctuation is present. What is the treatment we will do? The treatment, of course, it is the bacterial infection, so we need to give antibiotic. Along with that, we see there are the collection of the pus is there. So based on that, we need to incision and drainage. This is what? Incision and drainage. So we will incise the breast and drain all the pus. Okay. In case of the early stages, what we will do? In case of early stages, we will be having the antibiotics, plus we will use the ultrasound guided multiple needle aspiration. Ultrasound guided multiple needle aspirations. With the help of ultrasounds, we will aspirate these pus pockets with the help of ultrasounds. So we will aspirate all these pus, and along with that we will give the antibiotics. Later stage, what we will do? Antibiotics, and we will make a small cut on the breast, and then we will drain all the pus. So that is the occurs in the later stages. Okay. Okay, when they will talk you about, like if they will talk you which is the best incisions, so that remember, that will be the best incision in case of the breast also, in the breast. So that is the radial incisions. How we will give? They will give the radial incisions. If anybody like cosmetically wants, so cosmetically the peri-areolar incisions is given. Peri-areolar incisions would be given. Okay. So remember that the best incision in the breast, radial. Cosmetically we see the peri-areolar incisions. Just a second. Yes, नहीं आ रही. No. क्या नहीं आ रही? आवाज नहीं आ रही क्या? एक सेकंड रुको. मम्मी ये पंखा बंद कर दो. फैन बंद कर देना एक बार. फैन बंद कर दो. फैन हाँ यार, उससे मैं डिस्टर्ब हो रहा हूँ, तुम तो नहीं हो रहे ना, मैं बहुत डिस्टर्ब. एनी स्पेसिफिक एंटीबायोटिक वी हैव टू गिव इन दिस केस? नहीं, बस फॉर नाउ जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस antibiotics we need to give, and we will mainly see this is the antibiotics we give for the streptococcus. So any antibiotics we can give, the main target is we need to incise the breast and we need to drain the whole the pus. So that's why we will need to give. And the cosmetically, if we see, the cosmetically we will give the perioral incision, or the best incision is given in the breast is the radial incisions. Okay. After that, let's see the question. A participant complained about the pain in the mammary gland. So if there is a, what we see, the pain, the palpation reveals there is a 3 into multiply 4 centimeter large infiltration. What we see, 3 multiply 4 centimeter large infiltrations. So what meaning of infiltrations? The infiltrations means if there is a accumulation of something that infiltrate, so that is like it can be the foreign body or it can be own body tissues. It can be the foreign body or it can be the own body tissues. Along with that, we are seeing the soft in the center and the body temperature is also increasing. So what is the most probable diagnosis? So remember, this will be the acute purulent mastitis. If you still don't know the questions, you still can mark the answer, because you can see the pleuritis not possible here, the birth trauma not possible here, retention of the milk, it can be the regions, but I know you will remove this option also, and the pneumonia, that is again not possible, because he is talking about the mammary glands. In mammary gland they give the pain also, the infiltration also, the fever also, so that why you can understand this is the mastitis conditions. Okay, so such questions, if you don't know, don't worry about all those things, just remember these keywords. What is the retention of the milk? We call it the lactostasis. What we call it the lactostasis. The retention of milk will be called as the lactostasis. In the retention of the milk, what we see, there is a no formation of infiltrations. No formation of infiltrations will be there. Okay, so that is the acute purulent mastitis. After that, the next question, a 43-year-old patient complained of the formation and the pain in the right mammary glands. So what we are seeing, there is a formation and pain in the right mammary gland. Rise of temperature 37 point during the last 3 months. Okay, the conditions worsens before the menstruation. 43-year-old. On examination, edema of the right breast, hyperemia, retracted nipple. If there is a retracted nipple, unclear painful ulceration is palpated in the lower quadrants. Usually when we talk about the breast cancer, so in case of the breast cancer we talked about that cancer is most common in the upper quadrant area, but in the Crow 2 question they give the rare findings, because they are the rare peoples and they want to search about the rare things, so that's why they give the lower quadrants. So in the lower quadrant the breast cancer is very rare findings that we see. Okay, so you can write it here as well. Upper quadrant, the upper quadrant is the most common site of breast cancer. The most common site of breast cancer will be the upper, like if this is the breast, so in the breast we will having the 4 quadrants, upper quadrant, lower quadrant, and this quadrant will be having the most common site of the breast cancer. The lower quadrant, this is the rare site, the rare site of the breast cancers. Okay, so you can write upper outer quadrants, you can also make it outer also. The upper, this one will be that is the most common site of the breast cancer. So when we talk about the breast cancer, let's discuss a little bit about the breast cancer according to this question. Rest we will discuss later on. The breast cancer. See, breast cancer, when we do, we have some risk factor for the breast cancer. The risk factor, remember, if we are seeing there is a early menarche and the increasing of the age. If you see the increasing age and early menarche, If you see that in older female, the breast cancer is more common than the younger female. Then we can see in the early menarche, and there is a late menopausal conditions. If the late menopausal conditions, so in that also the breast cancer will be less. After that, if you see there is a family history. After that, if you see the family history, like both maternal and the family history is very important, very important. So there is a like the gene mutation, that is a BRCA1 gene or BRCA2 gene mutations, the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene mutations. So that is very like based on the family history, and the both maternal as well as the paternal history are important in this condition. They both are equally important. Then we can having the obesity, alcohol, smoking, or it can be hormone replacement therapy. The smoking will be only for the, like it is a risk factor only for the premenopausal women, only for premenopausal women. Okay, just remember this line. If this can be come in the like in the questions as a keyword, but not will be directly asked. So just remember the smoking, that will be the only risk factor for the premenopausal women. After that, this, if we talk about the breast cancer symptoms, see the breast cancer symptoms, what we will see, based on that you can easily mark or you can easily solve any breast cancer question of the CROC 2. If you saw the symptoms, if you saw the symptoms, pulling, the pulling or puckering of skin under the tumor. Okay, see there is a two things. One we having known as the retraction of the nipples. The retraction of the nipples, it can be the congenital or the recent. I hope every one of you know, we having the female having the breast, and the female we will be having the cancer. If the cancer it involves, there is a some lactiferous duct that is open directly into the areolar regions, onto the nipples. So the when the cancer involves the lactiferous duct, if cancer involves these lactiferous ducts, so when the cancer will be grow, so it will try to pull the nipple inside the breast. It will try to pull the nipple inside. So when the nipple will be pulled inside, it will lead to the retraction of the nipples. It will lead to the retraction of nipple. Both are the retraction. These are the known as the retraction of the nipple. Okay, so that's why that you need to remember. And there is a one more thing, that is a dimpling. There is a one more thing, that is the dimpling. The dimpling and both retraction, they are all the sign of the breast cancer. Pulling or the puckering of the skin under the tumor, if there can be the, we can see the distraction of the skin, retraction of nipples or the skin, the retraction of the nipple or skin. Along with that, we can see if there is a breast skin is thinning. All these key findings we will see in the questions. All these key findings what we will see in the question itself. So what we will see, the thinning of skin. Along with that, we can see the redness, hot skin, the swelling. We can see having the growth of the vein, the discharge from the nipples also. That is again the important finding, the discharge from the nipple. So discharge from the nipples, and along with that, if this is the metastatic tumor, of course we know that the no margins will be there, the no margins, because the benign they have the clear margins, and if this is the metastatic cancer, so in this we will see that there is a no margin will be there. Okay. So these findings you need to remember. So we can see in this question, there is, we can see this pain in the right mammary glands, the temperature, this is the sign, inflammatory signs that we can see in the breast cancer also. I told you the condition worsened before the menstruation, that is the early menarche. No, that is means early menarche. On examination we see the edema of the right breast, the hyperemia, the redness and the retracted nipples, unclear painful infiltrations or the unmarginated. Then in the lower quadrant, what is the most probable diagnosis? So we can see this is the case of the breast cancer. And in this question the right breast is involved, so that is the cancer of the right mammary glands. Okay, I hope this is clear and this is done. What is the premenstrual syndromes? The premenstrual syndromes, or we can say the premenopausal syndromes. In all these conditions, what we see, if we see there is a mood swings, the hot flashes, night sweat, vaginal dryness, loss of libido, so all these are the premenstrual syndromes. गर्लफ्रेंड के जो मेंस्ट्रुअल के टाइम पे जो नखरे होते हैं ना वो वाले, ठीक है. A 14-year-old girl complains of the profuse bloody discharge. Profuse bloody discharge from the genital tract during the 10 days after suppression of the menses. So you can see there is a suppression of the menses for 1.5 months. Similar bleedings recur since 12 years on the background of the disorder. Similar bleeding, there is a recurrence of the bleeding since 12 years on the background of the disordered menstrual cycle. On rectal examination, there is no pathology in the internal hemoglobin. What we see, the 70 gram per liter. RBC is also the less. So what is the most probable diagnosis? Now see, I told you if obstetrics or the gynecology question, check out the age also. So what are the age? 14 years. So in this girls, if any obstetrics or the gynecological condition is there, so there can be some menarche type of the problems, there can be the late menarche, delayed puberty, this type of the things will be there. So in this we are thinking that the complaint of the profuse bloody discharge from the genital tract during the 10 days after suppression of the menses for 1.5 months. So this bleeding, this is a juvenile girl, so what we call this as a juvenile bleedings. And if there is a profuse bloody discharge, so there will it will lead to suddenly decrease of hemoglobin, and we call this condition as the post hemorrhagic anemia. Okay, I hope this is clear. So that's why we need to check about the age. If 14-year-old girls, along with that she has a profuse bloody suppression of the menses for 1.5 months, the recurrence since 12 years on the background of the disordered menstrual cycle. So if any profuse bloody discharge, juvenile lady, so we call it the juvenile bleedings, and there is a severe bleeding is there. So in that condition we see that there will be the hemoglobin level will be decreased and anemia symptoms will be there. We call this as the post hemorrhagic anemia, like bleeding after the anemia after the bleeding. So we call the post hemorrhagic. The next one, a 33-year-old woman was urgently brought to the clinical complaint of the pain in the lower part of the abdomen. So what we are seeing, there is a pain in the lower part of the abdomen, mostly on the right side, that is radiating to the rectum. Also felt dizzy. The above mentioned complaint developed acutely at the night. Last menses were 2 weeks ago. On physical examination, we see the skin is pale, PS 92, the temperature 36.6 degrees Celsius, the BP is 100 by 60, the abdomen is tense, right tender, peritoneal symptoms are slightly positive. So hemoglobin, what we see, the 898, what the apoplexy of the ovary. The apoplexy of the ovary, or we can also call it as the ovarian torsion or the ovarian rupture. This is also known as the ovarian torsion or ovarian rupture. The ovarian torsion or the ovarian rupture. and this condition is typically presents with the unilateral pains. It is the typically present with unilateral, typically presents with the unilateral pains. What is the most common cause? The most common cause of this condition is, remember, that is the benign ovarian cyst or tumor. The benign ovarian cyst or the tumor, that is the most common regions we will see in these conditions. Along with that, what we see, like we will see the sudden and severe pain. What are the symptoms we will see? The symptoms we will be seeing, that is the sudden and severe pain in lower abdomen. There will be the nausea, vomiting, or rapid heartbeat will be there, or the tachycardia will be seen. So all these symptoms, and this will seen in case of the apoplexy of the ovary. All these will see in case of the apoplexy of the ovary. Okay, so this one you should understand. So this condition is known as the apoplexy of the ovary, or we also call this as also known as the ovarian tumor. This is also known as the ovarian tumor. Also remember, if we talk about which is the most common cyst, if we also talk about the most common cyst, write it here only. The most common cyst in ovary, so that is the functional ovarian cyst. That is the functional ovarian cyst. That is the functional ovarian cyst will be the answer. Okay, it can be occurred due to hormonal imbalance or due to some like temporary ovarian tumor. That can be the regions. And remember that if we have the functional ovarian cyst, it's generally if resolves spontaneously and they do not require the specific treatment. So that's why they do not cause the ovarian apoplexy of the ovary. But if it is complicated, it will lead to the ovarian torsions. So all these findings you need to understand in case of the apoplexy of the ovary, or we call it the ovarian torsions. So in this question we are seeing the pain in the lower part of the abdomen, that is and that is the radiating pain also. This pain will be the radiating pains. So you also will dizzy, above menses develop the acutely at the night. Last menses 2 weeks ago. On physical examination we see the skin is pale, the pulse rate is high, the BP, the abdomen is tense, slightly tender in the lower peritoneal. Symptoms are the slightly positive. So what we call this condition as the apoplexy of the ovary. Okay, we are seeing that the mostly on the right means that is the unilateral pains. After that, these questions, next question is secondary para has the regular birth activity. 3 years ago, she had the cesarean section for the reason of acute intrauterine hypoxia. Acute intrauterine hypoxia during the parodinia. She complained of extended. What is the parodinia? Means labor. During the labor, she complains of the extended pain in the area of the post-surgical scars. I hope you already done. What is the post-surgical scar? If any surgical scar, there is a high risk of again rupture, or any like the previous history can be the again repeated. So objectively the fetus pulse is rhythmic. Vaginal examination shows 5 cm cervical dilatation. Fetal bladder is intact. So if patient is under the acute intrauterine hypoxia, so is he having the post surgical scars, means she already having the cesarean section before. So in these cases, if you are seeing there is cesarean section before, or any scar region is there, so remember that if again we need to go for the cesarean section also. Obstetric force scope, why we will not be used in this condition? Because it can cause trauma to the previous surgical scars. It can cause trauma to previous surgical scar. That's why we will not go for the obstetrics forceps. Okay. So in the next question, a 54-year-old patient consult doctor about the bloody discharge from the genital tract after the 2 years of amenorrhea. So see the age, we having the 54 years. So at this age we will be having the post-menopausal woman. We are seeing there is a 2 years of amenorrhea is there. 2 years of amenorrhea. Ultrasound and bimanual examination revealed no genital pathology. What is the tactics of choice? So what you are seeing, 54 year, okay, that is the post-menopausal. We see that she got the menopause before 2 years, and we are seeing the bloody discharge. So any post-menopausal woman suddenly, in the question they go, they suddenly having the bloody discharge suddenly, or we having the history of the bloody discharge after the menopausals, 2 years, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, after the 5 year of amenorrhea, after the 3 year of amenorrhea, having the bloody discharge. So that can be the endometrial polyp, or that can be the endometrial carcinoma. But for your questions, for the Croc 2 exams, remember there will be the endometrial cancer only, or endometrial carcinoma will be there. The post-menopausal woman and having the bloody discharge after the menopause, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever the years, after the 2 year of amenorrhea, after the 3 year of amenorrhea. So means that they are talking about the endometrial carcinoma. And when they are talking about the endometrial carcinoma, we know for the carcinoma what we need to do. We need to take the biopsy for cancer confirmations. So for biopsy, what we will take? We will take a probe, we will put into the vagina, and we will take the lining of the uterus and the uterine mucous membrane. We will scrap that movements with the help of, and we call this as the biopsy. And when we do the biopsy, we will take a sample from the uterine lining and the uterine mucous membranes. Okay, so that you need to remember about the endometrial carcinoma. Okay, so remember, if any post-menopausal woman bloody discharge, do biopsy. Why the biopsy we will do? To rule out the cancer. Because the first thing that should come in your minds, and in your Croc 2 question also, most of the questions are on the endometrial carcinoma. So we will do the biopsy. If any condition is this condition, what we will do? Biopsy. Why we are doing the biopsy here? In any questions, if we want to rule out the cancer, so we will do the biopsy. Remember this as a keyword for your Croc 2 exams. If any problem or any problem in anything, so what we will do? We do the biopsy. Alright. If any prediction or any there is any chances of the cancer also, so that's why we do the biopsy. Okay. You can write it to rule out the cancer. This is the same question that we did yesterday when we were discussing about the manual removal of the placenta. Okay, so in this question again, this is the short question, that was the long question. This is the difference. The examination just born placenta reveals, see, the just born placenta, after that there is a defect that is 2 to 3 centimeter in the 2 to 3 centimeter large. Hemorrhage is absent. There is no bleeding. What tactic is the most reasonable? It means if there is any defect, or that is the 2 to 3 centimeter large, means some part is still there. That means some part is still there. Some parts or the placental parts is still there. That's why we need to manually remove those. We need to check about manual uterus cavity revision. We need to do the revision. ठीक है, रिवीजन यहाँ पे भी काम आता है, रिवीजन हमारी पढ़ाई में भी काम आता है. सो बिकॉज विदाउट रिवीजन देयर इज नथिंग. विदाउट रिवीजन वी कैन हैविंग द defect also. Without revisions we can leave the placenta inside. Without revision the patients can be in the danger. So that without revisions your study will be worthless. Okay, so keep studying. And also there is one more feature also here. You can see the hemorrhage is absent. So normally when we remove the placenta, so when we remove the after the delivery of the placenta, we see there is some bleeding will be there. The hemorrhage will be present. Okay, if there no hemorrhage means there is something part is still inside and that is not separated completely, or the placenta is not separated completely. That we make the clear conclusions, and based on that we will check about the manually, and we will check the manual uterus cavity. If still placenta is there, placenta is not separately, we will manually remove the placenta. This question we already done. Other options are not important. Then we having the a 27-year-old gravida with 17 weeks of gestation was admitted to the hospital. There is history of the 2 spontaneous miscarriage. On bimanual examination, uterus is enlarged to 17 weeks of gestation. Uterus cervix is shortened. Isthmus allows to pass the fingertip. The diagnosis is the ischemico-cervical insufficiency. What is the doctor tactics? So see, here what we are seeing, the gravida females 27-year-old, 17 weeks of the gestation, and now we are seeing the history of the 2 spontaneous miscarriage, means 2 abortion is there. On bimanual examination we are seeing the uterus is enlarged to the 17 weeks of gestation. ठीक है, uterus cervix is shortened. Okay, isthmus allows to pass the fingertip. The diagnosis is the cervical insufficiency or the cervical incompetence. So let's discuss about the cervical incompetence. Cervical incompetence. So in case of the cervical incompetence, remember this is the most common cause of second trimester or mid trimester, second trimesters, or we can say mid trimester. The most common cause of the second trimester, recurrent pregnancy loss. In this lady what we are seeing, 2 spontaneous miscarriage. So remember this is the most common cause of the second trimester, recurrent pregnancy loss. When the cervix dilates, what happen? The length of cervix become shortened. The length of cervix shortens. Okay, cervical length less than equal to 2.5 centimeter, plus we are seeing there is history of 1 second trimester abortion. Okay, what we are seeing, cervical length less than 2.5 centimeter, plus we are seeing the history of 1 second trimester abortion. So in that case, remember there will be the diagnosis. What the diagnosis will be there? Cervical incompetence. Okay, so that the cervical incompetence will be there. What is the normal cervical length? Normal cervical length. So the normal cervical length, remember, that will be equal to the 3 to 4 centimeter. That is the 3 to 4 centimeter. No, it is 3 to 4 centimeter. 3 to 4 centimeter. So normal cervical length will be equal to the 3 to 4 centimeter. Cervical length less than 2.5 plus history of 1 second trimester abortion, the cervical incompetency will be the answer. Okay. And also I don't think they will give you in the question, but they can give you some like this type of the history, or they can make some story in the questions. So what they will give you, like normally what we see the TYVU, TYVU. This is the T is the normal shape of the cervix. This is the normal shape of cervix. So whenever the cervix shortens, when the cervix shortens, so this cervix will convert, the T shape of the cervix will convert into the Y shape. This T shape of the cervix convert into the Y shape. Y shape of the cervix will convert into the V shaped, and V shape of the cervix then further will convert into the U shapes. So it becomes the TYVU. It becomes the TYVU. Okay. Then they ask you about the management. So if cervical incompetency is there, means cervical is not able to or not fully dilated or having the short length, short cervix. So in that case, what we do? We do the cervical cerclage. What we do? Cervical cerclage. Plus we will give the progesterones to dilate. Progesterone. In case of the cervical cerclage, what we give? We give the, like for example, we give the McDonald cerclage. We give the McDonald cerclage, and also there is also one more cerclage is there, that is the Scheidker cerclage. Okay. In this we use the purse. by screen बहुत लैग हो गई, स्क्रीन लैग हो रही है अभी, ठीक है? हेलो, नहीं उसने अभी मैसेज किया है, वेयर इज अनुज अनुज अनुज। हाँ वो मैं समझ गया भाई, अनुज कहाँ है? अनुज, ठीक है, ओके। Then this is the cervical cerclage plus progesterone. So we are seeing there is a McDonald cerclage. We see the purse string sign, not sign, suture. What we see, the purse string suture will be given. जैसे पर्स को बांध देते हैं ना, ठीक है, like that we fold the purse, that will be the purse string suture. ठीक है, या एक झोला, एक बैग लेते हैं ना, एक बैग लेते हैं उसको रस्सी से और फिर रस्सी से चारों तरफ बांध देते हैं. दिस टाइप ऑफ द suture will take the cervix and then we will fold it like the purse strings. So that is the become the purse string suture. And in this Schroeder class we use the non-absorbable suture. Non-absorbable sutures will be used. Okay, that you need to remember for these conditions. Okay, I am repeating it once more time. Cervical incompetence, or we can cervical insufficiency. Another name is ischemico-cervical insufficiency. Cervical incompetence, another name is ischemico-cervical insufficiency. This is the most common cause of second trimester, mid-trimester recurrent pregnancy loss. As the cervix dilates, the length of cervix becomes shortened. As the cervix dilates, length of the cervix becomes shortened. Cervical length, if is given in the question, less than 2.5 centimeter, plus there is a history of 1 second trimester abortions, so answer will be the cervical incompetence. Then remember that TYVU. TYVU means normal shape of the cervix. TYVU means normal shape of the cervix. When we talk about the normal shape of the cervix, the T is the normal shape of the cervix. As the cervix shortens, the T form will convert to the Y form will convert V form, then V will convert again further into the U form. The management is important one, that is the cervical cerclage, plus we do the progesterone. Okay, is this clear? So now you can see that is, we are seeing that is a 17 week of gestation, uterus cervix is shortened. Okay, isthmus allows to pass the fingertip. Now we have the history also. So what is the answer? Diagnosis already given. What is the doctor tactic? To place the sutures on the cervix, uterus cervix. So we can having the MACD और शेयर्ड कर्स। मैकडी का नाम सुन के भूख लग गई तो बर्गर खा लो, ठीक है, मुंह में जो पानी आया उसी को पी लो, ठीक है। 65 questions. A 27-year-old woman present at the maternity welfare center because of infertility. Oh my God. So she having the infertility. Okay. She had the sexual life in the marriage for 4 years. 4 साल तक मजे किए. Does not use contraceptive. Okay. She has 4 साल के बाद भी she get pregnant. On examination, the genital development is without pathology. Uterine tubes are passable. Basal rectal temperature is 1 phase. Oh, this is the problem. So if we are saying that in the case of the normal menstrual cycle, we see the basal temperature will be always be the bidirectionals during each menstrual cycles. What is the meaning of the basal rectal temperature? See, when we having the premenopausal condition or the follicular phase conditions, so in that we will be having the different temperature. Basal rectal temperature will be different, or there is the difference between the pre-ovulatory condition and the post-ovulatory condition. So there will be some difference in the temperature will be there. So that's why it is the biphagic condition. With the biphagic conditions. So always remember, if you are getting the questions about the basal temperature or the that is the monophagic. If basal temperature is monophagic, so means that is the sign of an ovulation. That is the sign of an ovulation. Okay, it means there is can be the absence of the luteal phase. The absence of the luteal, there will be the only the one phase will be there. The absence of the luteal phase will be absent. If the luteal phase is absent, which hormones will be less? Estrogen or progesterone? यार स्क्रीन की प्रॉब्लम आ रही है क्या? सोई संधु इज प्रॉब्लम विद स्क्रीन. जिसको नहीं आ रही है वो बताओ. विच हॉर्मोन्स विल बी लॉस्ट इन केस ऑफ द प्रोजेस्टेरोन्स? प्रोजेस्टेरोन्स, ठीक है. सो दैट इज द प्रोजेस्टेरोन्स. Skin having the problem issue is anyone having the problem or let me continue? बता दो भाई. ठीक चल रहा है ना? ठीक है. The sign of anovulation, the absence of what? The luteal phase. If absence of the luteal phase means progesterone will be not there. If no progesterone means no endometrials will be able to stand. Okay. मेरी डिवाइस से ना और भी कनेक्ट है, इस वजह से हो सकता है. एक मिनट रुको, इनको बंद करने दो मेरे को. So absence of the luteal phase, there is a no progesterones will be there. Then the next question, 23 कैंसर वाला क्वेश्चन है. कैंसर वाला में पढ़ा नहीं है, but still if you get this like ये याद रखो, cauliflower. If a cauliflower in the question means they are talking about the cervical cancers. ठीक है. Again we will discuss this question. So if you are getting the cauliflower in the question, cauliflower means cervical cancer they are talking about. It is the cancer of the cervix. And the cancer of the cervix, we also do the pap smear testings. Which testings we do? Pap smear testing. ये तो बच्चे वाला है क्वेश्चन है. What is another name of physiological amenorrhea in this condition? A pregnant lady, a woman, not pregnant lady, a 26-year-old woman gave birth to child 6 months ago. 6 महीने पहले उसने बच्चे को जन्म दिया. Now वो गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट के पास आई. That she is saying कि menstruation absence, child is what? Breastfeeding, vagina exam, uterus is normal form, dense consistence. What is the most probable diagnosis? So this is the case of lactational amenorrhea. Swaha. This is the case of the lactational amenorrhea. If baby is on the breastfeedings, ठीक है, so that will the we discussed that prolactins, it is what is called the, in case of the prolactinoma also, they having the negative effect on the GnRH hormones. So that's why we will see that this will be when will be, there will cause the lactational amenorrhea will be there, menstrual cycle will be absence in this condition, and we call this condition as the physiological, because it is not pathological. That's why it is physiological. What is the treatment you will give? Reassure the lady कि जाओ और दूध पिलाओ और सब कुछ सही हो जाएगा. Okay. A primary gravida in her 20th weeks of gestations. So, a primary gravida in her 20th weeks of gestations, they complains about the pain in her lower abdomen, blood smear from the genital tracts. Now she is the 20th weeks of gestation. The uterus has an increased tonus. Oh, uterus ने क्या की, अपनी टोन बढ़ाई. Uterus has increased the tonus. The patient feels the fetus movements. बाई मैनुअल एग्जामिनेशन, देखो एक एक लाइन को अभी ना ध्यान से पढ़ना है, ठीक है, क्योंकि yesterday I gave this question, before yesterday, pain in her lower abdomen, okay, 20th weeks, less than 20 weeks means abortion. The uterus has an increased tonus, uterus ने टोन बढ़ाई, मतलब लेबर वाला पार्ट स्टार्ट हो गया. The patient feels the fetus movement, fetus is live. Bimanual examination revealed that uterus size correspond to the period of gestation. Everything is okay till now. Everything is okay till now. The uterine cervix was contracted down to the 0.5 centimeter. As I told you, as the cervix dilate, the cervix shorten. अभी पढ़ा था ना हमने. What we studied here. यहाँ पे cervix dilate, the length of the cervix shortens. तो यहाँ पे भी वही हुआ. In this condition also, the uterine cervix was contracted down. The external orifice was opened by 2 centimeter. The external orifice was opened by the 2 centimeter. See, when we talk about the diameter, you can also remember this one. The diameter of the internal os. The diameter of internal os. So diameter of internal os will be more than equal to the 2 centimeter. But we are seeing the external orifice was this one you should remember. Here the external orifice was opened by 2 centimeter. The discharge was there. But this discharge means at the 20th week of gestation there can be the abortion. This is the sign of what? Abortion. If you are seeing the pregnant lady having didn't reach the term or didn't having the preterm also, and the time of the 20th week just only, didn't reach the third trimester also, so this is the sign of abortion. This is the sign of abortion. But क्या ये abortion in progress है? क्या ये miscarriage है? क्या ये incomplete है? क्या ये risk of abortion है? Which one is that? Abortion in progress. Do you really think it's abortion in progress? When we call it abortion in progress, when we have some fetal parts will be out, so we can call that abortion in progress. But here we can see there is no any part of the fetus is not coming out. The uterus size is correspond to the term of gestation. Missed miscarriage, no. In missed miscarriage we don't see anything. Incomplete abortion means some abortion has been happened but some is still there. Incomplete, what we studied, that the uterus size or the fundal height will be less than the period of amenorrhea. So in incomplete also this is not possible. The risk of abortion, yes, there is a risk of abortion. Actually this is not a risk of abortion, or abortion has to be happen. Abortion होने वाला है. Abortion होने वाला है. So this is the risk of abortion, that is the impedance or the impending abortion. That's why called the incipient abortions. Impending abortion. हिंदी वाले स्टूडेंट्स लिखो इसको, incipient को हिंदी में यहाँ पे लिखो, abortion होने वाला है. क्या होने वाला है? Abortion होने वाला है. That is what incipient abortions. Okay, that is the impending abortions and means abortion होने वाला है. Okay. This is actually not a type of, we cannot describe it as the type. It is the like the stages of the abortions, or we can say this is the early stage of the miscarriage. This is the early stage of miscarriage. The early stage of miscarriage will be there. इसका मीन्स देखो, normally what happen, we having the 20th week pregnancy and the cervix should not able to shorten, cervix should not be dilated, but we are seeing the cervix is contracted, and we know that cervix contracted when the cervix dilated. Again I am forcing on this line, cervix, when the cervix dilate, the length of cervix shortens. So it means in the question they are giving the cervix is shortened, it means cervix is trying to dilate, but cervix should not dilate because it's just 20 weeks of gestation. एक बार मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ, let me speak in हिंदी. 20 वीक की प्रेगनेंसी है और 20 वीक के अंदर सर्विक्स को कोई हक नहीं है कि उससे वो डायलेट हो, वो छोटी हो जाए, वो शॉर्ट हो जाए, जब तक उसको एटलीस्ट मिनिमम प्रीटर्म और एटलीस्ट द टर्म तक आने में उसको, तब तक सर्विक्स क्या रहेगी, डायलेट नहीं करना चाहिए. और सर्विक्स अगर डायलेट हो गई मतलब वो अर्ली स्टेज ऑफ किसकी आ गई है, मिसकैरेज की आ गई है, और प्रेगनेंसी जो है वो रिस्क पे है किसके, खत्म होने के. So that we call the incipient abortions. I hope this is clear and done. ठीक है. Now you understand. Nobody answered about these questions. I think only one student, Bablu, answered this correct, and all other answered about the. And I think in that question, in this question, there is a no option of inevitable abortion. So I put that options deliberately. ठीक है, that's why. Okay, is this clear? The full term pregnancy, body weight of the pregnant woman is 62 kg. The fetus has the longitudinal position. The fetus की position कैसी है, longitudinal. कैसी है, longitudinal. The fetal head is pressed against the pelvic inlet. Abdominal circumference is 100 centimeter. Fetal height is 35. What is the approximate weight of the fetus? So can you please revise a formula with me? That estimated fetal weight will be equals to the fundal height. The estimated fetal weight will be equal to the fundal height multiply of abdominal circumference. So that will be our answer. Okay, so remember this formula. The estimated fetal weight of the fetus will be fundal height multiply abdominal circumference. So we can see the 35 multiply 100, 3 kg 3500 grams. आ जाओ, ये तो हो गया फॉर्मूला. अभी बताते हैं कि तुक्के कैसे मारते हैं. ठीक है, हाउ टू मेक द गैसेज, like such type of the questions. In this question you are seeing the 62 kg. Okay, now if you don't know anything, see the option 3 kg, 4 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 2 kg, 4 kg. Okay, now you are seeing 62, 35, 100. Three values are there. 62, 62, 35 or 100. They are the three values. Just circulate all these values and just mix up all those values. If anything related to this is coming, that will be the answer. If 62 multiply 100, 62, 6 kg 100 grams. No, that cannot be the answer. 35 multiply 62, that cannot be the answer. 62 multiply 32, it will be around 1 point kuch. That is not in the option, that cannot be the answer. 100 by 35, that can be the answer. 35 multiply 3. ठीक है, again it will be 35 multiply 3, how much it will be? 35 70, 3, यानी कि 2 point something, so this can be the answer. So means you have the two probabilities now, so you have the chances that you will make the 50-50% correct. The other options will be that will you will make the 35, you will multiply 35 multiply 100, so it will be 3500. So you have the two possibility, either this one or this one. Then if you choose any one of them, so you will be having the 50% probability that your answer would be correct. Okay, this tricks you need to solve when you don't know anything. Okay, so that is the 3 kg 500 grams. Question number 7. Endometriosis we already studied. Now see this question. A patient was admitted to the hospital with the complaint of the periodic pain. There is a periodic pain that gets worse during the menses. Weakness, malaise, nervousness. There is a dark bloody smear from the vagina directly before and after the menses. अरे भैया देखो, malaise है, ओके, वीकनेस है, मसल्स में प्रॉब्लम है, नर्वसनेस है, डार्क ब्लडी स्मीयर फ्रॉम द वेजाइना डायरेक्टली बिफोर एंड आफ्टर द मेंसेस. ठीक है. बाइमेनुअल एग्जामिनेशन रिवील्ड द यूट्रस बॉडी इज enlarged, then appendage cannot be palpated, the posterior forehead tubular surface, laparoscopy, ovaries, peritoneum of the rectoperitoneum. See, laparoscopy, what you see, ovaries, peritoneum, rectouterine pouch and pararectal fat, they are the cyanotic eyes. What is the most problem? The ovaries is also affected, peritoneum is also affected, rectouterine pouch is also affected, pararectal region is also affected. So that's why these patients will be having the disseminated forms. डायरेक्टली सब कुछ अफेक्टेड होता है, ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? ऐसे बोल सकते हैं, देखो कैसे बोल सकते हैं. साइनोटिक आई मतलब दैट इज द साइनोटिक मतलब ब्लूइश. साइनोटिक मींस ब्लूइश डार्क कलरेशन, bluish dark discolorations, and this bluish dark discolorations we seen in case of the endometrial tissue, seen in endometrial tissue. In endometrial tissue we studied that if there is a accumulation of the bloods in the implant, so there will be the bluish dark discolorations, mixed blood will be there, that's why the bluish dark discoloration will be there. And if we see there is a involvement of the peritoneal regions also, so we call this form as the disseminated forms. So in case of the disseminated forms, we remember that if endometrial tissue entered throughout the pelvis, and involves ovaries, peritoneum and other pelvic structures, okay, write it, other pelvic structures, so that is a disseminated form of the endometritis. That is the disseminated form of endometritis. Along with that, revise the endometriosis topic. Okay, if you know the endometriosis topics, it will be easy. The only thing you need to do about the disseminated form. The disseminated form means the endometrial tissue entered throughout the pelvis, ovaries, peritoneum, other structures, loads of the structures it enter. That's why the disseminated, it becomes the dis. Okay, so that's why the disseminated ovaries will be there. Revise the endometriosis topic. A gravida with the 7 week of gestation is referred for the artificial abortions. 7 week of gestation referred for the artificial abortion on operating the while dilating the cervical canal. देखो एक होता है हैगार डायलेटर के ना नंबर होते हैं. हैगार डायलेटर वी हैव द नंबर्स 8 number, 9 number, 10 number, 12 number, 8 and 12, like this type of the numbers, and this used for dilatation of the cervical canals. Okay, now when doctor is mainly these are the interns, ठीक है, not the doctors, they are interns होते हैं जो ऐसे काम करते हैं. So the doctor is there, and the doctor when he is putting the Hagar dilator, so उसने काफी अंदर डाल दिया तो क्या होगा, यूट्रस परफोरेट हो गया. ठीक है, so when he put that inside, the uterus will perforate. So what is the immediate doctor tactic to confirm the diagnosis? टेलीस्कोप लेके आओ, सर्च करो कि कितना अंदर गया एंड कितना लाइक यूट्रस परफोरेट हुआ. Okay, so that is what we call this as the probing of the uterus cavity. We call this as the probing of the uterus cavity. So Hagar dilator, it is used for the dilatation of the cervix. Then there is a uterus perforations. देखो, when the uterus perforations will be there, okay, last question में ना एक line रखी सर. In the last question, but you understand why we having the we have the vagina, blood is smeared from the vagina before and after. Why the before and after also the menses? Normally we should having the blood discharge during the menses. Okay, I think I cleared this in the endometriosis also. If before and after also, because this endometrial tissue is also present in other regions, and when they are present in the other region, they bleed at the before and after the menses also. Okay, that's why we are having the before and after here. Then the gravida with 7 weeks of gestation referred for the artificial abortions. So here what we are seeing that Hagar dilator is used for the dilatation of the cervix, and for the dilatation of the cervix, what we have to do, we put the what we do, we use the Hagar dilatations, and we do the use the hysteroscopy. Okay, you do the hysteroscopy. The doctor for the immediate tactics, that will be hysteroscopy, or we call the probing of the uterus cavity. The probing of the uterus cavity. Oh, this is the same question. Uterine probings. Question number 73. A 59-year-old female patient applied to the maternity welfare clinics and complained about the bloody discharge. She complained about the bloody discharge from the genital tracts. Post-menopause is 12 years. 59-year-old. मतलब कैसी हो गई? पोस्ट मिनोपोजल. क्या होगी? पोस्ट मिनोपोजल्स. Post menopausal is 12 years. Okay, so in this condition the menses has been stopped around the menopause condition. कब आ जाते हैं? Menopause conditions, it's at the around after, you can say 45 to 47 years. Females get the menopausal conditions. Female get the menopausal condition. In case of the male, they are the universal, सदाबहार है उनका. ठीक है, तो इनके अंदर कोई ऐसी कंडीशंस नहीं आती है. Post menopausal 12 years, vaginal examination revealed the external genital organs had the sign of age involutions. तो जैसे जैसे एज बढ़ेगी तो एज इन्वोल्यूशन आने लगेगा. That the external parts will be wrinkles, the atrophy will be there. The uterus cervix, or whenever the age will be going further, the uterus or the cervix or all vaginal parts, all these external genital parts will be undergo the atrophy. Uterus cervix was not erosive. Small amount of bloody discharge came from the cervical canals. So यहाँ पे what we are seeing, the small amount of bloody discharge came from the cervical canal. Uterus was of normal size. Uterine appendages were palpable, unpalpable. Formix, what I told you, the post-menopausal conditions, and having the bleedings. So always think that she can having the endometrial concept. That is the most commonly things we see in this post-menopausal conditions. The endometrial carcinoma or endometrial cancer. So for that, we in this question what method should be applied for the diagnosis. So for the diagnosis, देखो, when we are doing the biopsy, so biopsy was doing to rule out the cancer. Biopsy we was doing to rule out the cancer and to confirm that it is the cancer, or the for confirmation of the cancer, or we can say the rule out the cancer. The both are the same things. Okay, but here we are need to diagnose. How you will diagnose these conditions? So for diagnosis, remember, we will be having This condition called the D and C. D and C means dilatation and curettage. Dilatation and curettage. So this is used for the diagnostic purpose also and used for the therapeutic purpose also. What is the meaning of therapeutic purpose? Therapeutic means related to the treatment. We can also use it as the treatment purpose. So that is the therapeutic conditions. So dilatation and the curettage, that is used as the diagnostic. That is used for the diagnostic. So you need to remember the D and C, dilatation and the curettage. Okay. This D and C, it is used to sample the endometriums. Used to sample the endometriums. So if you want to take any sample of the endometriums, what we will do? Use the curettage method. We will put a needle and then we will take the sample. This is the same like the biopsy. Also in the biopsy we have the different needle. Curettage we have the different needles. So curettage, what we have the curettage is झाड़ू. Curettage क्या है? झाड़ू है. झाड़ू को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं? तो क्यूरिटाज एक प्रकार से झाड़ू है, मतलब सफाई का काम करती है. तो उस सफाई को करना में. ओके. तो ये क्या करेगा? व्हेन वी हैव पुट द दिस dilatation, firstly we will dilate and then we will curate. So curate means we will like completely we will remove that things, like this is here what I am saying, this we can use for the diagnostic purpose. This is used for the diagnostic purpose, for to making the, we will take the sample out and then we will check it with the help of, we call this as the diagnostic curettage. I told you that it can be used as a therapeutic also. So therapeutic means it used as like a झाड़ू. झाड़ू मतलब broom. ठीक है? It used as a broom. So whatever we will do, we will dilate the cervix and then with the help of this broom or the curettage, we will completely encounter all whatever the, in case of the incomplete we can having the partials, fetal parts can be there, the retained fetal parts can be there. So based on that we will completely curate that with the curate all those fetal parts and they will take them out. Okay, so that is the diagnostic as well as used as the therapeutic also. In this condition we are using it as for the diagnostic conditions. Okay. Dilatation and curettage we also can use in the case of the post-abortal condition also. Here the post-menopausal conditions, but also we can use it for the post-abortal condition also. Okay. This question, complaint of profuse foamy vaginal discharge. Foamy vaginal discharge, foul burning, itching in the genital area, hyperemia of the vaginal mucosa, lal, hyperemia, strawberry vagina, bleeding on touching. Don't touch me, I will bleed. Don't touch me, cervix. What is the what vagina will say? Don't touch me, I will bleed. So that is the seen in case of the trichomonas colpitis. Foamy leukorrhea in the urethral part. What is the most probable diagnosis? So see, when we discussed about the trichomonas vaginitis, what we discussed? Let's keep revise it. Profuse discharge was there. Along with that, what we studied? We studied that there is a yellow, green or brown discharge. Yellow, green or brown discharge will be there. Unpleasant odor. Unpleasant odor. The unpleasant odor will be there. Then we discussed that there will be the strawberry tongue will be there. Strawberry tongue would be there. And we discussed that there can be the dyspareunia, pain during the intercourse. Okay, when with this I remember one forensics one, and there is a one terminology in the forensics, in the forensic medicines, in case of the, so that is the sadisms. Okay, so that is the sadisms. Like we have the pain during the intercourse. This sadism is the like the every examiner in most of the many question paper I show that this terminology is very common things. So if any male partner is having the, that's why I'm saying the forensic medicine is really, that is the interesting things. Whenever you will study about the, in case of the Croc 2, I think there is no question about the forensic medicines, but when you discuss when you studied about the future exams, so that's you will study about the forensic medicines, and believe me, that will be a little interesting also. Okay, when you will make that interested, it will be interested. If you will study it like the laziness, it will be the laziness. Okay, so based on the light, we are having the dyspareunia. So Trichomonas vaginae, yellow, green or the brown color, unpleasant odor, strawberry tongues, and we will be having the dyspareunia. What we discussed about the treatment, the treatment for this condition is the metronidazole. Okay, so that is the Trichomonas colpitis. All these we discussed already: vaginosis, candidiosis, maculosis, lasiosis. ठीक है सारा. 7 months ago, a 26 साल की woman, a 26-year-old woman delivered a child 7 months ago. She already delivered a 7th month ago. When she had the 7-month child, has been suffering from the nausea, morning vomiting, sleepiness for the last 2 weeks. She suckles the child, menstruation is absent. She has not applied any contraceptive. What methods would be applied in order to specify the diagnosis? देखो, see this question. 26 year, 7 month ago, has been suffering from the nausea, morning vomiting, sleepiness for the last 2 weeks. She suckles the child, menstruation is absent. तो menstruation क्या है यहाँ पे? Absent है. ठीक है. She has not applied any contraceptive. Now tell me the questions. What you will say to the woman without any examination? If this type of the didn't do anything, the patients come to your OPD and she is having the 26-year-old woman, she came with the 7-month-old ago, and now she is having nausea, morning vomiting. What you will say to that woman? How long is the class going to continue? नींद आ रही है क्या? When was the last time? So what you will say that to the lady, that when was the last times, and so she is having the pregnancy. Okay, she is having the pregnancy. So Mubarak ko aap, because based on this history we can understand she can have the pregnancy. We don't know whether it is ectopic or the intrauterine. Now don't confuse with the 7 month. Usually it's and lactational amenorrhea, it ends in the 6 months. Usually the lactational amenorrhea, it ends in the 6 months. That is the maximum. Okay? But if like continuously is the baby is continuously sucking the baby milk, sucking the milk and milk. So that's, it can be increased from till the like more months, but the maximum is still the 6 months only. So if already she have the 7 months ago, so don't confuse. She suckles the child. She suckles the child till the 2 years also. Okay, so don't confuse with that. So what is the examinations we will do? Ultrasound examinations. A newborn head is dolichocephalic shape. Dolichocephalic. So dolichocephalic means long skull. Long skull will be there. Means front to back will be elongated. Or if I will make a diagram like this type of the things. So you are seeing that the front to the back will be the elongated condition. The front to the back will be the elongated. So this is a long skull will be that there. Now you see the patient examination of occipital region labor tumor. So there is a labor tumor is there that is located in the middle between the prefrontal and the posterior fontanelle. Prefrontal or the posterior fontanelles. So what was that here? So this is what, that is the posterior vertex presentations. This is the posterior vertex, because this is the cephalic shape, that is front to the back elongated. Examination of the occipital region, labor tumor located within the prefontanelle and the posterior fontanelles. So that is the vertex region, the uppermost part of the body, that is the vertex presentations. That is the vertex presentation. That's we call the posterior vertex presentations. As it is present near to the occipital region, we call it the posterior. Then question number 77. A woman consulted doctor on the 14th day after the labor about sudden pain, hyperemia. See, 14th day after the labor means after the pregnancy, means when the baby is sucking the milk, means when the baby is sucking the milk, he cutting the nipples, he put the crack in the nipples, and through the baby she can having the entering of the bacteria inside the breast. That will be cause the induration of the left mammary gland, body temperature rise, headache, intersubjective, fissure of the nipple, see, fissure, the enlargement of the left, pain on palpation. What pathology? That is the again mastitis condition. Now see, the mastitis where we discussed right there also, one more thing also, it can be the non-lactational or it can be the lactational. And the non-lactationals will be at the center, like the rare, it will be the rare. But lactational, as we discussed, what we discussed, the crack in the nipple, bacterial enter, like it can be the Staph aureus, Streptococcus pyogenes, or it is the like localized. Right there, the two things, localized, it is the localized things. And also one thing we forgot about that, it is first, it's occur first few weeks after the delivery. First few weeks after the delivery. All other things we already wrote there. So okay, so that is the same question. Now you see, the young woman applied to the gynecologist due to a pregnancy of the 4 to 5 weeks. The pregnancy is desirable. Anamnesis state that she had the rheumatisms in the childhood. Now she has the combined mitral disease. She has the combined mitral heart disease with the priority of the mitral valve deficiency. When will she need the inpatient treatment? देखो, now she has the pregnancy of the 4 to 5 weeks. Pregnancy of 4 to 5 weeks. So when she should come? She having the heart disease also a problem. So when she should come to the OPD? So the first at least, so it should be at the first trimester. In the first trimester, because heart is developing. So for that it comes should be 8 to 12 weeks. Because in the first trimester heart is developing. The heart is developing. Then she should come at the third trimester directly, as according to this question. She should having the at the second trimester also, and in this question we will be having the 28 to 32 weeks. 28 to 32 weeks. Why? Because the blood, the body is completely resistant to the insulin also. Along with that, we see the mother's blood volume will be at the peak. That's why she should be here at this condition. And at the third one, at the time of the delivery or at the term. Okay. Then this question, a woman in first half of the pregnancy brought to clinical by the ambulance. Term of the pregnancy is 36 weeks. She complained of intensive pain in the epigastric and vomiting for the 2 times. Pain started after the patient had eaten the some very English dish, vinaigrette. I didn't like this because I don't like this. The swelling of the lower extremity means there is a edema is there. BP is 140. urine becomes curd after the boiling. What is the most probable diagnosis? So this we already discussed. This is the preeclampsia conditions. So revise preeclampsia. Revise brothers, revise. The test for proteinuria. Write this. Test for the proteinuria. The test for the proteinuria, what the test we do? That is the heat coagulation test. The heat coagulation test, or we also can having the boiling test. Like if just boil that, so we can having the boiling test. If protein present, if protein will be present, so there will be the coagulation or clumps. There will be the coagulation or clumps will be there, and urine will become turbid or cloudy. It forms the curd-like substance. It forms curd-like substance. Okay. So the test for proteinuria, heat coagulation test or the boiling test. If protein present, coagulation or clumps, urine turbid or cloudy, they forms a curd-like substance, and we call this condition as a preeclampsia condition. Preeclampsia. Okay. Is the scale here? गर्भ से महिला हो गए हो, ठीक है. गर्भवती महिला पहले ही हो चुकी थी, दोबारा गर्भवती महिला हो चुका है, ये बोलो, ठीक है. Then 80, a 13-year-old girl consulted the school doctor on account of moderately bloody discharge. देखो, now see 13-year-old girl. So 13-year-old girl is there on account of moderate bloody discharge from the genital tract. Moderate bloody discharge from the genital tract, which appeared 2 days ago. Secondary sexual characters are developed. What is the most probable cause of the bloody discharge? So she is having the juvenile conditions, 13-year-old Gudiya, and she got the menarche. Of course, what she will get? She will get the menarche. Okay, the first menstrual periods. First menstrual period. Okay. What is the another name of Warl-Hoff disease? Can anyone tell me what is the another name of Warl-Hoff disease? Who left the meeting? Who dared the left meeting this? Misra ji left the meetings. Okay, tell me. What is the another name of Warl-Hoff disease? The another name of Warl-Hoff disease. Purpura. You are correct. Did you search or you are right? That is ITP. That is ITP. Idiopathic thrombocytic purpura. No, it is not purpura. It is the idiopathic thrombocytopenia. Okay? So that is what thrombocytopenia. What you will see, that is the Warl-Hoff disease. Okay, I think this is more than enough for today. Okay, and otherwise you will be skipped. You will also be left, and you will say कि हमें भी जाना है. Immune thrombocytopenia is correct one. Thrombocytopenic purpura. Yes, correct one.